Analyst Jeff Hosford to talk a little bit more about this case and specifically the preservation of evidence that led to an arrest in this case. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Talk a little bit about the technology of DNA, and really fascinating that, 10 years after that evidence was entered, it's helped to possibly solve this case.
Well, the big thing that we all have to realize is back when these people or these crimes were committed, the police took the forethought to store some evidence that actually has helped solve the crime. What they did was they took those blood samples and they stored them away, and now they've taken those blood samples and they entered it into a database, and that database finally hit on somebody that they believe may be a suspect. The DNA evidence is analyzed by a bunch of chromosomes. They basically take those and they analyze each individual one, and then they make a match, and the match determines how accurate that is. It can be anywhere from 1 in 100 to 1 in 5 million or more. The higher the number, or higher the number on the second number, the more likely that person is the one that was there or did the crime.
When you think about what has happened in this case, it certainly speaks to why investigators are so careful at crime scenes and really so protective of what goes on there.
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, obviously contamination is the #1 defense. I mean, we all remember the 90s crime of O.J. Simpson and Nicole Simpson and how detailed they got into the DNA. That's still true today. Even though the technology is advanced, if the crime scene is contaminated or disturbed in a way which makes it hard or impossible to collect the evidence, then it's impossible to say that evidence is accurate. And that's what you have to do. You have to make sure that the crime scene is free from contamination.
All right, Jeff, as always, we appreciate your perspective. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.